We're back fresh baked, back in the parks again today for, the first thing I thought about doing when I touched down in Southern California at John Wayne Airport was what I'm going to do when I get in the parks, a construction update. I've got all kinds of, footage coming up from Walt Disney World and Universal, Florida, or Orlando. Got lots of that coming up. So no rush to do any trip reports from the park, but I do need to catch you guys up on some of the construction projects that are happening around the park. We touched on them while we were in Florida at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but I wasn't able to do the visuals like I wanted to do. So today we're gonna go around the park. We're gonna pick up all the other remaining construction projects that are happening, and also obviously update you on the stuff that we talked about at for French Market and at Pacific Wharf. Actually, before we get into that, let's get into some new business. Head over to Adventureland. Well, Adventureland, Frontierland, New Orleans Square. There's some business going on here. Adventureland is open, but it is one way only. It is a dead end, if I'm not mistaken. That didn't take long. They have closed off all of it, almost. Oh my gosh, you can see a giant earth mover there. Well, small by earth mover standards, but just over that fence, you can see the machinery. You can still ride the Jungle Cruise. It is still open, but they're diverting guests to the left through the stroller parking section. And I'm guessing it's just there's that little opening or the side right in front of the attraction facade there. No problem there. Bengal Barbecue, I was incorrect. I thought this fence went all the way across, but Bengal Barbecue is still open as well. I think we can take this up to the Treehouse. Oh, it smells so good right here. This is what you come for in a construction video, is some commentary about the wonderful smells from Bengal Barbecue, and there you go. Now, all this that's happening right here is for Adventureland Treehouse, which is exciting, which means that they're getting close to something approaching finishing, perhaps. Now, here's the thing. We reported a couple weeks ago that Disney had updated their website to say that the Treehouse is going to be reopening in the middle of January, I think it was, or maybe early February, I can't remember. And I thought that was laughable, obviously. This is on our last construction report. No way they could have been done. I think what they meant to do was close it. I think what they meant to do, or they were trying to update it to that extent. The fact that these walls are up now suggests that they're not close to whatever that date that was. But it does suggest that they are making rapid progress on the Treehouse. And then obviously, this includes Indiana Jones, which is just behind that wall right there. So no access to New Orleans Square through Adventureland. You have to go via Frontierland. And there's that Adventureland path leading down into New Orleans Square. You can see some more construction walls up there. I wonder if we can see anything from the Mark Twain. We'll have to drop by there. There is that big tractor that we just saw there earlier. Meanwhile, Pirates of the Caribbean is still open, 25-minute standby as we speak. It's just a little more cumbersome to get in there, I guess, but it's still working, still operational. Oh, while we're in New Orleans Square, or right next door, let's get into some of that French Market business. It's interesting, the plans that they have for French Market, because the plans that I saw, the specs that I saw, and the commentary that I saw suggest a few things that seem, well, not very possible. As I mentioned in the initial video that we did earlier this week, it looked to me, the specs that I saw looked to me like they were planning on increasing the capacity, the available seating size out here. Where and how, I'm not exactly sure. The only thing that I saw referenced was the removal of one planter. I mean, there are some good-sized planters, which we'll look at in a second, but even if they did that, how many more, tables how many more seats could they add in here without it starting to infringe on traffic flow? It's already very narrow. French Market, or New Orleans Square, I should say, is very narrow. Disneyland is narrow. They can't just put stuff up here without having, a big effect on traffic flow. I hope they know what they're doing. They must, because that's the plan. Here's a planter right here on the edge that seems like a reasonable destination for a few more tables. Maybe this one as well, or part of it, although I would be very upset if they took away this tree, because it is part of what makes New Orleans Square, if you ask me, and the French Market. If they could do it without taking out the tree, maybe. But I don't think that they could extend anything back here behind the stage because of this right here. This path is a choke point between guests, coming back and forth between New Orleans Square into the Disneyland Railroad. It gets even more congested as you turn around a corner, especially if they're putting in, or if they're running the mint julep bar queue along the side, which they are today. You're seeing right here, that's the back of the mint julep queue right there, the standby queue. Now, one interesting thing about that, which, see, I can't even, hi, how are you? What interesting thing that that they mentioned in the specs that I saw was that they are planning to upgrade the mint julep bar in both the point of sale system and the way they arrange the queue. I think they're going to be putting in some permanent queue structures as opposed to these ad hoc ropes that they use to create this queue. When I mentioned the point of sale system, what I'm talking about here is this guy right there. Standby guests just place an order right here and then they pick it up at the window. I would hope that whatever they do makes this more efficient, because this is one of the slowest, longest queues for just a hi for a glass of mint julep is pretty wild. But yeah, there's no chance whatsoever. Yeah, I'm gonna go up these steps right here. No chance whatsoever that they could actually extend the seating area back this way. It has to be on the opposite side, and more than likely it is that very first planner that we saw. But again, how many seats could they possibly put into that spot? In my mind's eye right now, I can see them taking out that planner and sort of slicing off the edge of this one and then bringing out the seating area it's less of a semicircle, and I don't know if they could still do that or not, but bringing it out just a little bit this way, I suppose. I mean, that's again, assuming I'm reading the plans correctly, that was the intent, was to create more seating space, which, obviously French Market is in dire need of more tables and more seats. A couple of the things that we mentioned in that update, they were talking about replacing the canopy and the festoon lighting that's in that area right now. I don't know if it needs it or not, or if they want to just upgrade it somehow, but I hope they don't change it too much, because I really enjoy the canopy that they have out there right now over that seating area. Even though it's not too great in the rain, it doesn't rain that much here anyway, so that's probably fine. One of the things that also mentioned was raising it a little bit, which I guess they could do. Why that's necessary, I'm not sure, but hey, go for it. And then they also talked about upgrading the mobile order station. So mobile order is going to stay here at French Market, obviously. Not my favorite thing. The French Market doesn't really need mobile order, but if they can do it in a way that doesn't get in the way of the standby service, then that's great. Like they tried to do at Rancho del Zocalo, which we're going to get to in just a minute. But I can see them creating a more purpose-built mobile order system there, as well as, like I mentioned, at the mint julep bar, upgrading the POS system there, as well as the queue to make it more guest friendly, so that it doesn't clog up that area back there by the Disneyland Railroad. By the way, one more thing, I have heard that they are going to be updating the menu. The only thing that's going to be staying is the half chicken. That's going to stay, but the po' boys, the French dip and the shrimp po' boy, the jambalaya, the corn chowder, all that's going to be replaced. Now, it's going to still be, obviously, New Orleans themed, because, it's Tiana, New Orleans Square still. But do expect a new menu. I actually am optimistic that they're going to do a good job there, because most of the new food that Disney comes up with these days has been an improvement over the old. So I'm hopeful that that's going to be the case here. And as we make our way back through New Orleans Square on our way to Frontierland, you might have heard, hi guys, you might have heard that Disney had suddenly canceled a whole bunch of dates for Fantasmic. I have been advised that it was not a sudden cancellation. It was just actually part of their normal seasonal schedule. It is typical, it is common for Disney to reduce this schedule during the off season, during the January, February months. And that scans, that makes total sense. The reason for the appearance, the reason why it looked like they suddenly canceled things is because They forgot to update the calendar. They forgot to update the schedule on the website. So there was dates there that shouldn't have been there. They should not have been on the calendar to begin with. There is nothing wrong with Fantasmic. It's not. It doesn't need any more doesn't have any more technical issues, as far as I know. As a matter of fact, they are hiring more cast for the show. They're still full speed ahead. They're just in their seasonal, January, February calendar right now.
You're a blower, and you're a rumper.
I mentioned briefly Rancho del Zocalo while we were talking about the French market. I had been told while I was in Disney World, I was advised that they had taken Rancho off the mobile order program. That it was you can no longer see Rancho in mobile order when you launch the app. And I did check myself. I did look at it myself to make sure, and I did see the same thing. But I have to come in here and see it with my own eyes. This is where standby was exclusively, and this was mobile order, and look at that, thank God. There's very little that I was excited about in this report than I am about reporting that they took mobile order away from Rancho because it did not work. It's awful. It killed standby here. Completely useless. This place is not built. Rancho del Zocalo is not built for mobile order. They have to do something like they did at French Market, to build an exclusive pickup area for those mobile orders. But from this was a waste of space, and clogged up standby over here big time. So I'm very happy to see this. It's going to make this, a much more efficient standby. But we don't need it here. It moves very quickly here. Matter of fact, now that I can give this tip again. Most everybody, when they come to Rancho, they go into what would be the taco queue. I think you can order in either station now, but that used to be tacos and burritos, and then this here was enchiladas and the chicken. So if you ever see where one queue is, most people get in that first queue. It's been entirely come over here, get your food here, you can get whatever you want at the enchilada section. On our way to Fantasyland and ToonTown. But I thought I would make a quick stop here at the Sleeping Beauty Castle. Well, I guess that is Fantasyland, isn't it? But for whatever reason, the Christmas decorations were up for a solid week after the supposed end of the Christmas season, both here and at Walt Disney World. You'll see in our Magic Kingdom video that we do from Walt Disney World, all the Christmas decorations were up, all the music was on. It wasn't that they were taking their time and doing it, that they were doing it a little bit at a time. They hadn't done any of it. I kind of feel like if it was just a case of them not getting to it right away, they would have at least turned the music down. But the music was still up. And the fact that the same thing happened in both parks suggests to me that was intentional, that they were holding off for an extra, almost a week, was it? About a week? Decorations are down today. Everything's gone. Music's gone. Everything's gone. So it's back to normal. This is actually, as we mentioned in our Getting Ready for February video, this is one of the few times in the year where it's it's totally unfiltered Disneyland right now. There's no decorations, no theme, no event, nothing happening right now. But there will be soon. What do you call it? Lunar New Year's coming up. By the way, just out here in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle and in the moat, there you can see a newly installed fountain. That's going to be part of the 100th celebration. It's going to be a regular fountain. And I would imagine that there's a matching one on the other side. No, maybe they have not installed this one yet. I can kind of see, I don't know if you can see through, but I can see here, there's part of it, but it doesn't look fully complete. Or maybe it's just lower in the water than the other side was. Small World's closed. Came down here to show you guys the sign, but Look, there's guys actually working right now. We've got some constructionizers. Looks like they're painting or maybe providing or putting on a finish on some of the woodwork there. You can see the sign. Welcome to Mickey's ToonTown. It's new. I like everything about it except for the actual ToonTown letters. I mean, the sign looks fresh and clean and nice. I like that, but I just don't like it. I don't like how unnecessarily busy the word ToonTown is. I much prefer the old one. It looks better in person. I'll say this. I saw a photo on Twitter this morning, and I immediately hated it. But it does look better in person. It's a little more readable. But that's the problem, is that I couldn't really read it very well, and I just did not enjoy it. It was just too much. You got Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Pluto, Daisy. Each letter, Minnie, represents one of the characters that live there, I would imagine. And I don't know. I'm just not. I would have preferred the old ToonTown better, or more the lettering, that is. And you can also notice the population counter is back, but it's different. It used to be, instead of reading 826, I don't know what that says, 59 something or other, there was a bunch of different characters in there. A baseball, screw. I'm gonna get closer to make sure that's the case, but I don't see any of those weird characters. That's just 826552302, yeah. No screws or baseballs or anything on there. It was a running joke with Ian and I would ask Ian, hey Ian, what's the population of ToonTown today? And we would try to read it as we go through the tunnel. I can't do that anymore, I guess. Well, you can still do it. You can still try to read the population, but it's not as much fun. January 27th, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, January 27th. So we're almost there in about 10 days. 10 days. I can't. I'm shocked that I was able to say that. In 10 days, I can ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I did already. No, not here. They are doing cast member previews. They have been for a while. I don't think they're going to be doing any kind of soft opening. Well, they could, but I haven't heard anything to that effect. But then again, I never hear anything when it comes to that kind of stuff for some reason. But I rode Runaway Railway in Walt Disney World at Hollywood Studios. So for the very first ride that I went on in a Disney World park was Runaway Railway. I really liked it. I thought it was great. An excellent blend of practical and screens. I would imagine it's going to be just like that here. Plus, I've heard we're going to get a little bit extra. 10 days. You know, just about, I don't know, a week or two ago, Liz and I were talking about great moments with Mr. Lincoln and the exhibit that they have inside, the Haunted Mansion exhibit. It's been there for 3 years at least, it feels like, and we were wondering, when are they going to do something with that exhibit? When are they going to update that exhibit? Well, now. Apparently the time is now. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is closed, and they're closing it in order to update that exhibit. They haven't said anything publicly yet, but from what I've heard from folks I know on the inside, they're going to make it a 100th anniversary exhibit as part of the 100th anniversary celebration going on resort-wide. Obviously, it's closed now as of today. Per the Disney calendar, or the Disneyland calendar, it's going to reopen on January 25th. So it's not a prolonged closure. It's going to be down a little more than a week from today, and then expected to be for the 100th coming January 25th.
Well done, you guys. Well, now, folks, there certainly are some great Disney characters.
That was fun. I'm really enjoying doing a construction report again. But we're not done yet. Got some old business to catch up on. Heading over to DCA to take a look over at Pacific Wharf. I've seen concept art that hasn't been made public yet. I've seen concept art. Got updates for you beyond what we talked about in the first, or I should say the last news update on this topic. All right, so I mentioned in our last update that I had put eyes on some plans and specs, some concept art for the Pacific Wharf change over to San Francisco. And I detailed some of those plans in that video, but I didn't get to really give you any visuals, which would help a lot. You know what I mean? In terms of trying to figure out just what it is that they're going to be doing. Obviously, we all know, we've seen the concept art for this bridge right here. They're going to turn this into something that resembles a proper Golden Gate style bridge. And it's going to be much bigger and more obvious, more of a classic Disney eye catcher than this bridge is presently. And we're going to start right here at Cafe Bakery, Pacific Wharf Cafe. This is going to become the Lucky Cat Cafe, which is going to serve, among other things, mochi. I was kind of wondering what they're going to serve in here. As I mentioned in the previous video, I had no idea that, or I didn't recall that was actually the little cafe that Hero's aunt owned, and where he lived upstairs. So I would imagine, I would hope anyway. Well, you know what? They're not. They're just not. I just know they're not. But ideally, this should somehow resemble like an apartment type deal up there. I would admit, I would think, but I don't think they're going to change this anyway. In fact, there's zero chance that you're going to see any major structural changes to what exists here already. They're not going to tear anything down. They're not going to build anything. All they're going to do is reskin the existing structures, and barely at that, based on the concept art that I've seen. It's going to be minimal at best. For example, Rita's Baja Blenders. Literally no changes whatsoever to the structure other than the name, Turbine Blenders. It'll be called Turbine Blenders. They're going to change that sign right there. But otherwise, this building will look exactly the same. And I would imagine they're going to sell the same blended margaritas. Right behind her, Lucky Fortune Cookery. In the concept art that I saw, there was no change at all to this building. Same name, same design, same aesthetic, same everything. No changes at all to Lucky Fortune Cookery. Which makes perfect sense because San Francisco is obviously heavily, influenced by Asian culture. So you're going to see a lot of that type of stuff in both Pacific Wharf and San Francisco. The Bodine Bakery Tour will also remain. The only changes here, they're going to change a little bit of signage right here. They're going to have this sign still there, the bakery tour, but they're going to lift that up and put some Japanese lettering. They're going to translate it into Japanese here, and then add another sign over here that says fresh bread and fresh bread in Japanese. And then there's going to be some light theming touches where instead of the Bodine Bakery badge on there, that, the symbol up there, that'll become, actually I take that back, it's not becoming anything, it's going to stay, it's going to keep the Bodine Bakery, but they're going to add some Japanese elements to the art and also translate it into Japanese. Like Lucky Fortune Cookery, Ghirardelli's is going to remain untouched. It'll stay, no changes at all here. They're not even going to put in new art or any Japanese lettering or anything like that. It's going to remain, as far as I can tell, exactly like it was. And then actually back here, they're going to do a little bit near child services, that brick wall back there. You're going to see a little Baymax art there on that brick wall. It really is light. When I talk about reskinning and light reskinning, that's what I mean. There's no structural changes here whatsoever. Well, I should say there is one minor structural change, one minor physical change to the environment, which is where we're heading now. The Karl Strauss Brewery, the brewery truck, back here in this back corner where they sell beer. We had guessed when the news first broke and the concept art was provided for Pacific Wharf, we had guessed that this truck was going to be gone. That, you know, I had assumed that that's where they were going to do the Baymax meet and greet. It made the most sense. It was either there or inside the Ghirardelli shop, but that shop was too big, I think, for a meet and greet. And it made more sense knowing that they were going to move, knowing that they were going to build a cerveceria at the other side of Cocina Cucamonga, which we're going to get to in a second. That was in the concept art. So we knew if they're building that, then they must be getting rid of this. The truck will be removed, and this space will be quite a bit more open. And you can see right behind it, that little cutout there, that goes backstage. They're going to put a door here, or maybe not a door, I don't know. But that's where Baymax will pop out of, and he'll meet in this corner right here. Again, they're going to hang a sign right here from that post. It looked like a Baymax fist to me, and then you know, some kind of mural or whatever here on this wall for that, you know, typifies Big Hero 6 and Baymax. One of our early theories, when we heard that there was going to be a gift shop, we thought, okay, maybe they're going to put the new gift shop in the Ghirardelli's building as well. Either Baymax or a gift shop or nothing at all. It is nothing at all. It's going to stay Ghirardelli's, but there will be a gift shop. It's going to be right here in this corner, at the opposite end of where you order for Cocina Cucamonga. Very small, outdoorsy type situation. They're not going to close it up or you know, make it a standalone building. It's just going to be new walls, and you just walk in there and get your Baymax or your Big Hero 6 merch. I think there's also going to be a vending machine where you can buy like Baymax themed penny presses or something like that. And then finally, while we're in the proper Pacific Wharf area, I had guessed that this currently dormant section right here of the Cocina Cucamonga was going to be the new home of the cerveceria, which it is according to the concept that I saw. Except they're gonna bring it out. This building is going to be extended. I don't know how far, if it's going to come all the way out here to make it like just a full-fledged beer service area. Now I'm wondering why they would do that as opposed to just simply selling beer here at Cocina. But I mean, I guess they want to make it a separate. It's two different orders. You place an order at Cocina, you place an order here. I wonder where they're going to put that. Maybe the reason why they're doing that is because they want to build a queue on this side. They want to create definition as well as give it more space to function inside when they're making the beer and the micheladas, etc. Let me see if I can't slide over here. You bring it out, and I guess you put the queue in one of these. They got too many windows anyway. They got 6 windows. Where window 6 is now, that's probably where you run the queue for the beer service, and then you can limit Cocina to the first 4 or 5 windows over there. So from the long view, Baymax, merchandise, Cocina, right? These windows, and then beer service right here, and that's going to come out, and you're going to have a separate queue right there. And then as viewed from the other side of the wharf, Cocina Cucamonga, no changes at all, obviously, to the structure. I'm not even sure if it's going to get a new paint job, to be honest. But you're going to see paper lanterns and some Japanese script here, as well as a neon sign right here that says Port of San Francisco. That would look really cool at night. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, still going to be Pacific Wharf Canning Company, still going to be the Kruger's Net Repair, but more paper lanterns strung across the width of the buildings, and then some other Japanese script and iconography to give it a more, obviously a more Japanese feel, a more San Francisco feel. My first thoughts when I'm going to talk about this again. My first thoughts when I saw this were that, yeah, it's cool. I really dig Baymax as a character, and I dig the aesthetic of San Francisco and of Big Hero 6. But I really don't dig the lightness, the lack of depth that they're doing with this skin. Don't like that at all. But I've recently had a bit of an epiphany after visiting Pandora at Animal Kingdom. It caused me to contemplate more the idea of using IP as an influence for attractions and why they do this. And because I used to just perceive it from one perspective only. And I remember having the thought while I was at Pandora that I wanted to go home and watch Avatar. that I was excited to go home and watch Avatar again, and that I wanted to see Avatar 2 again. And that's the difference. Having, tried to experience it only from the Disneyland perspective, but it goes both ways. It's not so much, or it does mean that it's easier to sell a space and to design a space if people are already familiar with it, if they're already familiar with the IP. That's true. But it also works in the opposite direction. When I come to Disneyland and I experience, Pacific Wharf, I might feel inspired to go home and watch Disney Plus and watch Big Hero 6. It's a small thing, but it's worth thinking about. I guess what I'm saying is I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they do here at Pacific Wharf, in spite of the fact that it's going to be a C- effort in terms of actual work.
When we get there, okay? Dad, Mom told me she didn't want to smoke spider.
Look, I can eat.
Guys, where's Ron?
And before we go, I guess this was unexpected. I wasn't expecting to see the threshold, the Lunar New Year threshold today. Not only was I not expecting to see it today, but look where it is. They've got it all the way out here to Grizzly River Run, to the entrance of Avengers Campus. There you can see our first kiosk, Bamboo Blessings. I saw another one down the way, but we didn't shoot it. Last year, the threshold was way up there where you turn right to go to Redwood Creek Challenge. Here's another, wrapped with love. Oh, they've got the signs out, or the pictures. Pork and shrimp wontons, delicious. Bok choy and mushroom dumplings, I'll try that. And a pineapple baijiu cocktail. I missed my chance to do the Lunar New Year foodie guide. I was in Walt Disney World. We're gonna throw Lunar New Year out here in a couple days. Red Dragon Spice Traders, Red Spice Fried Chicken Bites, gochujang elote, and a guava. Man, goodness. That's why Lunar New Year is my favorite of all the festivals that we do here at DCA, because there's some really interesting food and drinks. Can't wait to try them. There's not so many that I may have a chance of doing everything this year. I keep saying that, but I'm hoping this is really the one. Bamboo Blessings. These signs are really ornate. They have better signs at Lunar New Year too. Mickey Mouse shaped hot dog bun, no thank you. It's not very good. And Mickey Mouse shaped purple sweet potato macaron, and some beer. So I'll probably not be doing that one. But we will be doing Lunar New Year. I think that's on January 20th is the first day for that. And that's the end of our construction update. It kind of got a little vloggy there at the end, didn't it? You know what it is? I haven't been to the park to do a vlog at Disneyland. I just wanted to start covering stuff. But this was a construction video. But we'll be vlogging soon from Disneyland. So stay tuned for that. And also, obviously, stay tuned for more from Walt Disney World. We're not anywhere near done. I'm putting this video out now, but we still got Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, the hotel. There's more. There's lots more. So stay tuned to Fresh Baked. And then follow us on Instagram at _Fresh Baked, on Twitter at Fresh Baked Disney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at Fresh Baked Disney. If you like our show and want to show you support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/Fresh Baked. Otherwise, thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.